Hello, students. Welcome once again to my YouTube channel. I am your English teacher. Today we are going to learn something about compositions, lesson number 18. First, we will read about essay writing. Essay writing. The word essay literally means an attempt. Writing an essay is actually an attempt to express one's thoughts in language. You have learned in your previous classes how to write an essay. To write an essay, you need three things: the necessary information, the ability to arrange the information in a suitable order, the ability to express it clearly. Here are some points to remember. Every essay has a clear beginning, middle, and end. Clearly state what the essay is about at the beginning and summarize briefly what you have said at the end of your essay. Brainstorming, think, talk, or find out more about the topic and note ideas as they come into your head. Organize your ideas in a sequence in points, discarding what might be irrelevant to the topic. Write the essay using paragraphs. Each paragraph should contain one or two ideas. Read your essay keeping your reader in mind. Is it clear and easy to read? Revise your work, correcting errors. Make sure that your introduction and conclusions are well written. There are mainly 5 types of essays. Reflective essays. A reflection is a thought on some subject, so a reflective essay consists of thoughts on some topic. Reflective essays deal with topics like good manners, friendship, work, leisure, union is strength, school games, television, the internet, newspapers, and so on. Narrative essays. A narrative essay consists of the narration of some events or series of events. Narrative essays deals with such topics as an excursion, a picnic, a strange incident, an accident, a fire, an unforgettable experience, and so on. In a narrative essay, it is always best to relate events in the order in which they happened. Descriptive essays. A descriptive essay consists of a description of an animal, a plant, a city, a place of historical interest, and so on. Imaginative essays. Imaginative essays deals with topics like if I were the prime minister, if I were a millionaire, if I were on the moon, and so on. When writing such essays, the writer places himself in a position of which he has had no actual experience. Argumentative essays. An argumentative essay is almost similar to a reflective essay. It is concerned almost entirely with ideas, but in an argumentative essay, unlike in a reflective essay, you are required to discuss a particular problem and therefore you are not free to interpret a subject in any way you like. You have to argue for or against a subject and justify your viewpoints. Study the essay. Here we have an essay, and the topic is Union is Strength. One of Aesop's fables tells a story of an old man who was troubled because his sons were always quarreling. He was afraid that the family would be quite broken up when he died. So one day he called his sons together and showed them a bundle of sticks and asked them to break them for him. They tried in turn, but though they were strong, all of them failed. Then he untied the bundle and told them to break each stick by itself. This they did easily. In this way, he taught them that union is strength. If they held together as one family, they would be strong, but if they quarreled and separated, they would be weak. Take a football or hockey team. If the members of the team play together and help each other, they will form a strong team. But if they are split up into parties, the team is likely lose the match. The same is true in war. A large army whose officers hate each other and do not work together has been beaten by a smaller united army. That is why the great French general Napoleon used to say, "Divide and conquer." He won some of his great victories by attacking one of his enemies when alone before the others could come up to help. Or he would weaken a whole nation by dividing it up into quarreling parties. A united nation, a united family, a united society of any kind is strong. United they stand, divided they fall. Their motto must be one heart, one way. Adapted from H. Martin's Junior Essays. So another topic, advertising. Have a look at the newspaper and you will find a lot of space devoted to advertisements. Watch television or use the internet for a few minutes and you will see several things advertised. Advertising has become a great social and economic force. Advertising is the life of trade. It is essential for a business to advertise their products. Even old, well-established firms keep on advertising. In these days of keen business competition, it is the firm that shouts the loudest that attracts attention and draws customers. So advertisements appeared on hoardings and filled the newspapers. Many business companies spend large amounts of money for advertisement on the radio and television by sponsoring plays, films, sporting events, and so on. Some firms float colorful balloons carrying the name of the product they want to sell. Another common form of advertising is sampling. A food manufacturer may introduce a new brand by offering free samples in stores or through door-to-door agents. The first use of advertising is that it brings in profit to traders. It is also of great use to the public. The mass of the public would be ignorant of even the existence of many good things unless they were advertised. People who need certain things can learn from advertisements where and how to get them. Advertisements save a lot of time and trouble by putting sellers in touch with buyers in a quick and simple way. Some advertisements make journals available at low prices. The money paid by advertisers for inserting their advertisement forms the largest part of the publisher's profits. Many small newspapers owe their existence to such income. Radio and television too are largely supported by advertising. But advertising has its abuses. Advertising often pursues people to indulge in extravagance. What is more, many advertisements have a tendency to deceive the public by falsifying the quality of inferior articles. Consumers should guard themselves against such frauds and gross exaggerations. While some advertisements introduce the public to useful scientific discoveries and teach hygiene, some others stir up senseless fears of disease and induce people to use worthless and often dangerous drugs. The medical profession has to issue warnings against widely advertised preparation for self treatment without prescription. To sum up, advertising is a very rewarding device to traders and would be equally beneficial to consumers if founded on ethical standards. Exercise A. Use these outlines to write essays. Yoga Day. What is yoga? Popularity of yoga. Prime Minister's call for Yoga Day. Narendra Modi. UN resolutions. World Yoga Day massive event at Rajpath. Many countries signed up the benefits if yoga need for yoga in today's world. In order to write this particular essay, the student should prepare himself with the information required, especially regarding yoga and Prime Minister Modi and the Yoga Day and the UN resolutions. You can try this. The second one, use of technology by children. Many inventions, especially electronics, life changed over the last 50 years. Communication revolutions, information age, use of cell phones, computers, numerous applications, the internet impact on daily lives, many devices used by children, advantages and disadvantages, life change for better, but caution to be used to avoid harmful effects, importance of adult supervision and guidance. Here are some more topics. Write essays on the following topics following the guidelines that you have studied. A family vacation, the importance of friends, gardening, a visit to the planetarium, my favorite sports, the role of a teacher, Independence Day celebrations in your school, the importance of nutrition, child labor, pollution, an unforgettable incident in your life, co-education. Dialogue writing. A dialogue is a conversation between two or more people. We usually write dialogues for a story, play, or a film. To write a simple dialogue, keep the following points in mind. The language we use in speech is less formal than the one used in writing. For example, in a letter we say, "I'm unable to attend work today." But while speaking, we might say, "I can't come today." The language of speech also has contractions, hesitations, pauses, and short forms. Keeping the language simple and natural makes the dialogue interesting and real. Look at the sample dialogue below. It is about two friends who are planning to go for a movie. Ajay: "Hi Ravi, what's up?" Ravi: "Nothing much. I'm trying to complete a maths assignment. It is so long." Ajay: "I took my dad's health. When do you expect to finish?" I wonder whether you would be interested in going to the movie this Saturday, Rabi. Great idea. Is there anything interesting showing in town? Ajay, yes, the latest movie of Hugh Jackman. Ravi, oh my god, we must go. I will work all night and complete this. But will we get tickets? Jay, I will ask my dad to book online if you confirmed. Ravi, give me time till evening. I will talk to my mother and take permission. Jay, I will wait for your call then. See you. Ravi, see you, bye. Write dialogues in your own words for the following situation. Your mother and father are going out for a day. Invite your friend to stay with you overnight. Tell him about the fun things you can do. Your favorite aunt is visiting. Write a conversation between you and her about your school and the offer she makes to take you out shopping. Students can try this on their own. Very easy and simple. Book review. A book review is an article or piece of writing about a book. It usually includes the following points: the title of the book and the full name of the author, a brief description of the book with an outline of the story, the important theme or message. Don't write the entire story because your reader should have some suspense. The main characters and some information about them. What you like about the book. Anything that you don't like about the book could have been better. Here is a sample book review. Heidi is a children's book published in 1881. It was written by a Swiss author called Johanna Sperry. It is the story of a little girl called Heidi who is raised by her aunt after her parents' death. Heidi is sweet-natured and has a positive influence on everyone around her. She stays in the mountains with her grandfather and later goes to be a companion to a disabled girl called Clara. Her experiences and adventures away from home and her return to the mountains make it an engrossing story. The book has been made into films and TV series. Write a review of a book that you have read using the above guidelines. You can try a book review on Gulliver's Travel or Tom Sawyer or any other book which you have read. Next, we have the autobiography. Excuse me. An autobiography is the story of a person's life. We usually read the autobiographies of famous people to read about their experiences from their own point of view and draw inspiration from their life. An autobiography includes the following points: personal details like date and place of birth, education, family history, positive and negative qualities about self, likes and dislikes of people, places, and things, experiences. The autobiography of a writer. Let's read it. My name is Sacharita Mishra. I was born in New Delhi on December 4, 1975 to Jagannath and Purnima Mishra. I was my parents' only child. My father was a lawyer and my mother was a homemaker. She was very interested in English literature because of my grandfather and therefore encouraged me from my school days to read extensively. While at school, my favorite subjects were mathematics and languages. I had very few friends and was afraid to socialize or speak in any school events. To make myself feel better, I started writing a diary every night about my shortcomings and other feelings. One day, my parents accidentally discovered my diary. They read a few pages, and when I got to know about this, I was very embarrassed and angry with them. It is said that something good always comes out of the bad, and this became true for me. My parents were highly impressed by my writing, so I ended up getting a degree in English and then started doing small writing assignments for publishers. I wrote small articles for magazines and newspapers, and then I gathered enough confidence to write a novel. My first publication turned out to be very successful, and I became a well known writer. Even today, my diary is my best friend. Next, we have the autobiography of a horse. Now that I'm getting old and stiffed in the joints, I like to meditate while grazing in the pasture on my foul days. I think that was the happiest part of my life. I had no work to do and could run about after my mother, who was a fine white Arab mare, without any restraint. Most of my time was spent in the fields where I nibbled the tender grass and capered about while my mother was steadily grazing. But that could not last forever. When I was old enough, the trainer came and, to my great indignation, fastened a long rope to my head and then began driving me round and round in circles with his long whip. I was frightened and angry, but he went on till I was so tired that I could scarcely stand. However, my mother told me that it was no use my resisting, and to make a long story short, I was at last thoroughly trained as a riding horse. I was bought by a young officer as a polo pony, and I soon got to love the game. He was a kind master and a good rider, and in the end, I would do anything for him and was quite proud when his side won the game. But he got into debt and had to sell me, and I was bought by a gentleman and a lady who kept a budgie and was trained to run in shafts. I hated this work, and I'm afraid I gave a lot of trouble by going as slowly as I could. When my driver gave me the whip, I started saying at any object on the road. And then I found that jibbing was a very good trick. And whenever I was whipped, I simply begged. My owner got disgusted at last and sold me to a gentleman who was fond of hunting. I was delighted to get back to saddle work and thoroughly enjoyed my gallops with the hounds after the jackal in open country. But an accident put a stop to that jolly lit life. For one day my master pressed me to a big jump, which I knew I could not do. I did my best but fell short and fell. My master was thrown and broke his arm, and I badly sprained one of my legs. I was in hospital for weeks and then was sold to a gentleman who wanted a quiet riding horse. He was a kind master and used me well, and I was in his service for a good number of years Now I'm old, he gives me very little work, and I spend most of my time grazing in the pastures and leading a quite contented life. Exercise E. Write your own autobiography in a few paragraphs. Include facts about your life, make it a gripping account by dramatizing events and experiences from your own life. Next, we have Travelogue. A travelogue is a film, book, or lecture about the places visited by a traveler. People travel to see new places and to get to know about different cultures. A travelogue includes the following points: place or places visited, descriptions of the place, geographical location, weather, and living conditions. Captivating sights, descriptions of the people in that place, any interesting experiences. Travelogue of a young girl. I was 13 years old when I traveled to Fiji Islands with my parents. It is a country in the South Pacific close to Australia. The main islands are Viti Levu and Vanua Levu. Suva is the capital of the country. Fiji is a beautiful island with pristine beaches, clean air, and bright sunshine. It is a tropical paradise with plenty of greenery that attracts tourists from all over the world. Fiji is a diverse country with Polynesians, Indians, and some people of mixed origin. The natives are friendly and easygoing. The official language is English, though Fijian and Hindi are widely spoken. I enjoyed traveling around Fiji and especially remember the boat trip where I got to see marine life. I also enjoyed swimming in the oceans and tried to learn surfing. The coral reefs are a beautiful sight. Here is another. My visit to the Taj. Taj is a short form of Taj Mahal. I shall never forget my first sight of the Taj Mahal in Agra. I had heard much about its beauty and had read of how the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan, to his great sorrow at the loss of his wife, Mumtaz, and as a token of his great love for her, had, at enormous cost, built for her this wonderful and world famous tomb. It is said that it took 20 years to build it and that 20,000 men were employed at one time on the work. So when my father took me with him on a visit to Agra, I was very happy because I knew I would see this wonderful building. It was in the evening, just before the sunset, that I first saw it. We went into the beautiful, peaceful garden with its straight walks, tall, dark cypress trees, smooth green lawns, beds of glowing flowers, and its flashing mountains, and there rose up before us this wonder of the world. It is all of white marble, a splendid white dome rising up in the mist, with four tall, slanted, white marble minarets around it, one at each corner of the platform on which the great dome stands. At a little distance, the Taj Mahal looks small and delicate, like a fairy palace. But as we get nearer, we see how large and stately it really is. When we went up the marble steps and stood close to it, the dome seemed to soar high up into the blue sky and the clouds, now red and gold with sunset light. It stands on the bank of the river Yamuna, the waters of which were all gold in the sunset and made the building look more beautiful than ever. We went inside and saw the marble tomb within, all decorated with precious stones and the beautiful screens of carved marble that looked like delicate jewelers' work in silver. And there we thought of the well beloved queen whose body lies below, and the great love of the king who had lavished his wealth in putting up this lovely memorial to her. The next evening, I persuaded my father to take me again to see the Taj, and we saw it in the light of the full moon, a wonderful sight. It looked like a building of pearl, or a palace made of silver, or so bright and tender it might have been made of white clouds. The gleaming white marble, the black shadows, the dim light, the silence, and the sweet scented gardens all made it a sight never to be forgotten. Adapted from H. Martin's Junior Essays. Write a travelogue about your own real or imagined visit to an exciting place. Students can try this. Next, we have data interpretation. We use graphs and charts to organize information visually so that we can understand and interpret it. The diagram below is called a pie chart. It clearly shows the sales figures for different flavors of ice cream. Let's check it out. Sale of flavors of ice cream in Tom and Jerry store. Chocolate Velvet 302, Vanilla 59, Butterscotch 78, Belgian Waffle 250, Cookie Sundae 180. Study the graph below comparing the data about languages chosen by the students of Saraswati Vidyalaya and Grammar School. Optional languages chosen by students. Green colored Saraswati Vidyalaya, orange Grammar School. See, optional languages chosen by students. The top, the left side, number of students 10, 18, 26, 34, 42, 50. Sanskrit. Saraswati Vidyalaya 25, Grammar School 40. French language Saraswati Vidyalaya 35, Grammar School 20. German 20, 20, each for Saraswati Vidyalaya and Grammar School. By studying the graph above, we can make the following observations. The number of students who opted for French in grammar school is less than those of Saraswati Vidyalaya. The number of students who opted for German is the same for both schools. The lowest numbers of students enrolled for any language in either school is 20. Students can try the next exercise. Study the graph below and answer the questions that follow. Try this. Now we have notice writing. Notices play important roles in schools. Students look at a notice board for information about holidays, meetings, competitions, annual celebrations, trips, camps, examination results, and so on. Study these examples. Notice St. Peter's School, Salim, 24th November 2016. The inter-house cricket match, which is to be played tomorrow, is cancelled because of the rain. Information will be given after another date is fixed for the match. V. Ganesh, Sports Secretary. Here another notice. Girls Public School, Vivek Nagar, 9th August 2016. Our school is going to organize a music program on the Independence Day. The function will be held at 10:30 a.m. in the school auditorium. The municipal commissioners will be the chief guests. Students who are good at light or slash and classical music and would like to participate in the program are requested to give their names to the Secretary Cultural Association before 12th August. Nisha Chopra, Secretary Cultural Association. Remember, remember that a notice should have a heading, the date of writing the notice, clear, complete information, name and the designations of the person who has written the notice. Write the following notices. 1. Imagine you are the sports secretary of your school. The annual sports meet is going to be held next week. Write the notice to be put on the school notice board. Number 2. It has been decided by the Students' Union of your school to organize a picnic next Sunday. Imagine you are the secretary of the Students' Union. Write a notice informing the students about the picnic and asking for the names of those who would like to join the picnic. 3. Mr. K.V. Thomas, senior lecturer in English, working in a local college, is to give a lecture on spoken English in your school next Monday. Imagine you are the secretary of the cultural club of your school. Write a notice informing the students about the lecture. Excuse me. Next, we have the poster making. A poster is a notice, often with a picture on it, which is put in public places for advertisement or to educate people about something. Look at the posters on the left below. The poster is intended to educate people about the ways of preventing a disasters on trains. The poster on the right below is meant to advertise a new product. Let's read the poster on the left side first. Spare everyone the pain of a blazing train. Students should try to explain the poster in their own words in a few sentences. What it is about and what they can see in the posters. Next one is cappuccino. Bring home the cafe experience. Look at the posters on the left. There are two lines in the middle of the posters. Spare everyone the pain of a blazing train. Look prominent. They express the central idea. They are printed in large bold letters so as to capture the people's attention. The symbols under the two lines explain and develop the idea. The picture that occupies the upper half of the poster has a strong visual impact. The other pictures in the lower half make the points easier to understand. The authority issuing the posters is mentioned at the bottom. The poster has been issued by the Indian Railways. Look at the posters on the right. The name of the product is printed in large bold letters so as to attract our attention. The picture adds to its impact. The slogan "Bring home the cafe experience" is effectively framed. Remember these points. Care should be taken to make the poster attractive enough. The subject should be presented clearly. The central idea should be worded in such a way that it can capture the attentions of the people for whom it is meant. The main idea is often in the form of a slogan. The layout of the posters is as important as the wording. The letters should be of different sizes depending on the importance of the ideas. The key points should be highlighted. Pictures are included in most posters. They make the points easier to understand or and aid to the attractions of the poster. In many cases, it would be necessary to mention the name of the authority or organization issuing the poster. Make these posters. Your school is going to organize a cultural function. Make a poster about the function. 2. Road accidents are largely due to the violations of traffic rules. Design a poster educating the public on traffic rules. Make a poster educating the public on the dangers of drug addiction. A cloth shop is going to offer a discount of 50%. Help the owners of the shop to design an attractive posters. Finally, we have letter writing. We have already learned about letter writing and the different types of letters which we write. Here is a letter to the postmaster and another letter as a complaint to booksellers. Let me read it out. As you can see, the address on the right side of the letter, MGR Street, Madurai, 625003, 16th January 2016. And on the left it begins. The salutation, the postmaster head post office, Madurai, 625001. Dear Sir, I have recently moved from 24 Temple Street, Madurai, 625001 to 16 MGR Street, Madurai, 625003. I would be grateful if you kindly arrange to redirect my letters to the new address. Yours faithfully, B. Ramachandran. It takes only 2 sentences to constitute the body of the letter, but the message is clear. Next, let's read it. Complaint to bookseller. On the right side, the address Desapeta Vetapalam 523187 14 December 2016. Here that is included along with the address. On the right side, Navadaya Booksellers, Iluru Road, Vijayawada, 520002. Dear Sir, I have received the copy of Blackie's Compact English Dictionary which you sent by BBP. Your invoice is numbered 763 and dated 10/12/2016. I am sorry to have to complain that pages 161 to 192 are missing from the book. I am therefore returning the copy to you. Would you please send me another copy by return or post? Yours faithfully, and Chaitanya Swarup. Excuse me. Exercise J. Write these letters. 1. To a friend asking him to spend a few days at your home. 2. To your uncle or grandfather inquiring about his health. 3. To a firm ordering goods, example, books. 4. To your news agent asking him to deliver the newspaper at your new address. The first two questions, two letters are counted in the category of personal letters. And exercise number 3 and 4, you can take the sample from the letters which we have just read and try to write it in your own words. Have fun. All the best.